Hello, what's your name?
Ebony Hobbs.
All right.
Right from the start, Judge Simpson steps in like a man who's already read the whole story. Ebony begins nervously explaining the list of unresolved issues: hot water, a missing mailbox key, rent payments, and a landlord who seems to have ghosted her. The tension is subtle but real. When the judge double-checks each point, it's not small talk. It's legal groundwork. Every unanswered maintenance issue adds weight to Ebony's defense. Notice how she's calm but firm, a tenant trying to stay on top of a system that doesn't move quickly. This setup is classic courtroom frustration. She's paid, followed up, and fixed what she can, yet she's still the one explaining herself. It's a reminder that in housing court, every missing key or delayed email becomes ammunition. Would you stay this calm under pressure?
And where are we on this? There was the hot water, the mailbox key.
I fixed the hot water.
Pardon?
Hot water is fixed.
Okay.
No mailbox key though.
You still don't have a mailbox
They
key.
haven't reached out to me as well. I reached out to them, got no response. So I paid the
You
1,028
paid
again.
1,028. Okay. You paid that directly to them,
I paid that on
to the landlord.
yeah.
On the
Straight to them.
24th. Is that correct? Okay, so what's our balance at this point?
$2,654.
$2,654, and then I have June clicking in tomorrow. So
I haven't said anything.
what's your monthly rent for
1,028.
that's right. That's how we set that number. Okay. Okay, so this will keep us at the 20. We came down, but when could the June rent be paid? Do you know?
I don't know. I've been paying them almost every week. I can't afford to keep paying 1,028 twice a month.
No, okay, I got you. But so tell me what you can do. Because here's what I'm going to do likely, because you got to get a mailbox key. I'm going to put it out to the 14th.
Here, Judge Simpson shows why he's respected, practical but probing. By extending the date to the 14th, he's buying Ebony breathing room, but listen carefully, he's also testing her reliability. Ebony immediately commits to $500 on the 7th, revealing her strategy: compliance with leverage. She's not refusing to pay because she can't. She's refusing because she feels ignored. That's a subtle but powerful protest. This moment highlights one of the toughest landlord-tenant truths. When communication fails, payment becomes protest. The judge keeps it light, even humorous, but the underlying message is serious. Pay what you can, show good faith, and the court will work with you. But if you're combative, even justified anger can backfire. Viewers, do you think Ebony's approach is smart negotiation or risky defiance?
Okay.
Okay.
So what I guess I really was asking, between now and the 14th, what can be paid? Let's do it that way.
I can pay 500
500.
until I get paid on the 7th.
So 500 on the 7th.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll put 500 on the 7th. That'll work. I mean,
I could pay the whole thing, but I'm just refusing to at this point. They're not willing to reach out.
why?
I'm
You know
just-
what? She could have just let it slide.
I know I can't.
And I would have just let it just go. Like, all she's got is
This is-
500. Well, no, I could pay the whole thing, but
But I'm not. But I've reached out to them several times about just, if you get the late fees off, I'd pay it in one
All right,
month.
listen, just
They
listen.
don't want
Oh,
to. Sorry.
no, I'm just gonna let you talk.
Thank you.
You ain't gonna let me.
Plus, I walked here.
You walked here?
I walked here. So,
Okay, so here's the deal.
okay.
Get the 500 in. Can you? Is 1,000. Let me ask you, can you do 528?
I can even go, yeah.
Okay, I want to keep the numbers where I can. Okay, so pay the 528, so it's five, I get your point. I mean, I make fun of it, but I get your point.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then I will adjourn this out to the 14th. Can we get our mailbox key?
Ebony's persistence pays off. Literally. The conversation shifts from survival to fairness. The judge entertains her request about late fees, signaling this isn't just about dollars, it's about respect. When she explains the landlord's refusal to waive penalties, her frustration becomes relatable to every tenant who's felt unheard. Judge Simpson interprets her logic perfectly. You're not paying to get attention. That line nails the heart of her case. She isn't dodging rent. She's demanding accountability. His dry humor softens the blow, but the empathy underneath is real. This back and forth showcases what good judging looks like: firm, fair, and human. This courtroom moment quietly flips the script. The tenant in default becomes the only person acting responsibly.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes. And then Ms. Hobbs, you're contesting late fees or asking for a waiver of late fees. What amount of late fees? Like what amount?
They weren't, she just told me the late fees were out of the question to waive. So I haven't heard from her since then. So I'm just trying to figure out a fair amount where I can, because I can,
She said to you what?
that she wasn't waiving. They don't waive late fees, just go to court, is what she told me. And
So I have to.
absolutely, on the court.
So, but with that being said, what amount are you asking for? Do you have an amount that you're asking for?
Not really, because I just got the ledger. Like
You
yesterday.
just, correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay,
She is looking, really what she's saying, at least what I'm understanding is, I ask you to do certain things. You guys really aren't doing it. You're not paying attention to me. The only way I can get your attention is not paying. And so then when I finally get your attention, you want me to do that plus the late fees. So whatever late fees accumulated during that period, I'm trying to get your attention. I don't think I should pay, because all I'm really trying to do is get your attention. Is that just another way of saying it?
oh, great.
Yeah.
You go viral for this moment too. Perfect moment. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm just going to be known as like the Ebony Hobbs Whisperer.
I swear.
All right. So that, and thank you for saying that, I guess, ma'am. All right. So with that in mind, I think council can look at it, maybe talk to Ms. Hobbs at some point in between and see if some resolution regarding that can come up. And then maybe we can just get this resolved so that Ms. Hobbs,
That's all I
Ms.
wanted.
Hobbs doesn't have to walk up here
I do.
and let me know that she walked uphill both ways.
I did.
All right.
Our phone number, our office phone number is on paperwork that you received under James Fink.
Okay.
If you want to call that, once you look at the ledger, if you want to call that, make any sort of offer, then I can present it to my client and I'll communicate with them about the mailbox issue.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. June 14th, 2024 at
3 p.m.
3 p.m.
A new case begins, and instantly the mood changes. Miss Tucker steps in, calm, articulate, and visibly more comfortable in front of the bench. Judge Simpson listens intently as she recounts a rental dispute gone sideways over a consent judgment and $218 in court costs. Small number, big principle. What's fascinating here is how Judge Simpson balances empathy with legal duty. He doesn't dismiss her frustration, but he reminds her. Once attorneys file, costs are triggered. No villain here, just process. Still, her reaction is emotional. They could have just called me. That line captures the disconnect between procedure and humanity. Legal correctness doesn't always mean moral fairness. Have you ever been right but still felt wronged?
Ms. Tucker?
Hello, how are you?
Hello. So she was to file an answer by the 30th. Did you do that, ma'am?
No, so I got a call from Beth on Wednesday, this past Wednesday, the day before yesterday, saying that they had gotten an email from the attorney saying that we wanted to stay. So we talked about it. And then she talked to the owner and they were like, yeah, you can stay under these conditions. So I went up, my husband and I went up yesterday to sign the papers, but there was one stipulation in there that we hadn't talked about that I took issue with. And it was going to be too late because we went up yesterday to sign the paperwork. So she said that it was going to be too late for the dismissal, so that I needed to appear today anyway. So
Let me clarify, Your Honor. On Wednesday, I did receive an email from the property manager, Beth, letting me know that the defendants had an interest in staying on the property. So what we did is drafted a consent judgment with certain terms, about 6 conditions. And what Ms. Tucker is contesting is paragraph number 4, wherein we are asking that they pay the $218 in court costs as a result of filing this lawsuit, as a result of her staying and continuing to possess the property. And that's where we're at right now. Wasn't planning on dismissing.
So it's the 218.
Correct.
Okay. And what's your objection to that, ma'am?
My objection, which I explained to Beth, was that because what she told me, I was like, I don't understand why, if there was an issue, why nobody called me and talked to me. They just went to the lawyers, and the next thing I know, I'm getting paperwork, you know. And she's like, well, they were just really upset. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't explain. So now you're asking me what happened. I tell you what happened. You're like, okay, that makes sense. We're going to talk, you know. And so I told her I felt that had they talked to us first, it never would have gotten to the point where attorneys were involved, and therefore payments would need to be made. Like those costs wouldn't have been incurred.
Okay. But here's the thing. They could have just proceeded, and then you take the risk of being evicted, right?
This is the educational core of the hearing. Judge Simpson cuts through emotion with a blunt truth. Eviction risk is always the price of delay. It's not personal, it's structural, but he delivers it without arrogance. Instead, he reframes the issue, protecting interests versus punishing mistakes. Tucker acknowledges him respectfully, showing a key courtroom skill, knowing when to stand firm and when to yield. This is the kind of exchange YouTube viewers replay. No shouting, no theatrics, just real negotiation. Simpson's calm tone conceals the power of his words. He's teaching both parties how to coexist in a system built for conflict. Legal lesson: communication beats confrontation every time.
Well, yes.
Okay. So ultimately it all works out, but they have to, and certainly the attorneys, when they get the information and the authority to go ahead, they have to file the action. They don't have a choice. And they're just trying to protect their interest as you were trying to protect yours. If it came down to it, what would actually end up happening, and typical with most cases, is that you would owe the court cost. All right. I would hate to see a termination action all of a sudden get blown apart where the tenant gets to stay over $200 and some odd in court costs.
I mean, I'm going to do whatever you say to do. I'm just putting my disagreement on the record is all.
Okay.
But either way, signing the consent thing wouldn't have, I was going to have to show up today anyway. So I was just verbalizing my disagreement with it.
No, I understand. I'm not criticizing you for it. I get what you're saying, but I'm not criticizing you by any
Right.
and please don't think that I am. I'm just I'm looking at it as I'm just looking at it as the practicality of it. I remember when you were here the first time, you were a bit shaken by the whole whatever, the whole thing that was going on. And sometimes, quite frankly, if people talk to each other, I would probably have half the work I need.
This might be the quietest, most meaningful line in the entire case. If people talk to each other, I'd have half the work. Judge Simpson isn't joking. He's summarizing the failure behind most civil cases. Tucker's reflection about her 15 years as a good tenant turns this hearing into a masterclass on community breakdown. Both sides operated in good faith but stopped communicating. What follows is pure civics. The judge, the lawyer, and the tenant all acknowledging that legal disputes often replace simple conversations. The emotional weight here is subtle but heavy. When Tucker admits she misread the process and thought she had to speak only to attorneys, that's a perfect example of procedural misunderstanding costing trust. Who do you think failed first, management or communication itself?
To her that I'm doing.
Well,
right?
well, yeah, it's just one of those situations where, you know, I've been a resident here for 15 years. There's never been an issue. So I was taken aback by the fact that they didn't bother to call me and be like, hey, what happened? You know?
Well, if I may, Your Honor, Ms. Tucker, I hope this doesn't happen in the future, but if it does and you're served with a 30-day demand, if I were you, I would utilize that time and go speak to management about that, talk to Beth, so that way a summons.
Well, yeah, and I had explained to her that because we had gotten the notification from the attorneys, I thought that I was obligated to communicate with the attorneys and not them, which I had sent a letter, but we didn't get any kind of a response. And so the next thing I knew, we got the summons and complaint. So that's, you know, so now I know in the future, I mean, I certainly don't expect there to be any issues in the future.
Okay.
But I do know.
All right. So when can you get that? When do you need time to get that paid? Or what's?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be able to make that payment until next Friday at the earliest.
So until the 7th?
Right.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to enter that consent judgment. And the only, pardon?
We did give her 10 days.
No, I know. And gee, how nice of you. But here's what I'm going to indicate, that the 218 has to be paid by the 14th of the month.
Okay.
Okay.
What
That'll
is it?
give you a little bit of leeway.
That'll show up on the resident portal. I'm asking the attorney.
Oh,
I guess I should probably.
will that amount show up on the resident portal?
I don't think so, but you will have to ask Beth, and I don't believe that she's here.
Yeah,
but you can clarify
I'll ask
with
her.
Okay.
I'll just
Okay.
call her on Monday.
Okay. Real good. Anything else, Ms. Tucker?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So this is a consent judgment, and you would have 3 business days to think about it. If you think that there's some legal reason, some right you didn't assert, or some other confusion on your part, you'd have to file a motion with the court within 3 days of my signing the judgment.
Understood.
Okay?
Understood.
That doesn't mean that I would set it aside. It just means that you would have that time to file that. Okay?
Right. Okay. Thank you.
All right. And Ms. Tucker,
Yes.
I'm going to tell you something.
Okay.
I appreciate you for feeling that there was something that you had an issue with and feeling comfortable enough to come to the court and voice your concern. I really do.
The legal arena is like a second home for me. Not on a defense or side or anything, but that's what my educational background is in. So I'm very comfortable. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I would have fought him then. No, I'm kidding. All right.
You know, if I had the time, I have a newborn grandchild. My daughter can't drive. I'm doing all the driving for her. They just moved. It's been crazy. So
Congratulations on the grandchild.
thank you.
Your Honor, before we go.
Okay, hold on.
Ordinarily, I'd request to obtain her consent to sign on her behalf, but there's 2 defendants. So
Oh, there are 2 defendants. Is
Yeah, well,
yes, there
because
is.
my husband, which he hasn't been able to, like, he works 2 jobs. He works, you know, afternoons and midnight. So he gets home in
I
about
gotcha.
just enough time to get some sleep and get up and go to work.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do.
But he
Along
was
the same
there
terms-
with me to sign the paperwork. But
Okay, what I'm going to do for the judgment purpose, it's going to be a default as to defendant 2 along the same terms,
okay,
since he's not here.
okay,
Okay, same thing. We take care of that issue. All right.
okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a great weekend. All right.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The final minutes show Judge Simpson at his most human. He thanks Tucker for speaking up, and she surprises everyone by revealing her background in law. The dynamic flips again. A tenant who knows the system, a judge who respects it, and a moment of mutual professionalism rarely seen in court. When she mentions her newborn grandchild, the courtroom transforms from legal theater into real life. Judge Simpson's balance of humor and grace gives closure, a resolution that feels earned, not forced. This ending is the heart of courtroom storytelling. Empathy meeting authority. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns on Trial Truth.